was watching the new season of Zatima, and one of the themes that's going on there was really interesting to me, and I wanted to talk about it a little bit. So it's the theme about Zach's sex drive is a little bit more than Fatima's, and she's like trying to come up with a solution. Like they had a talk, and she's trying to come up with a solution for what to do. And she's suggesting that he should go. Like one of her suggestions was that he should go talk to someone, and it kind of brought up a realization for me. Like we think that men having a high sex drive, or anybody really, like we think that it's a normal thing. But really underneath it all is a need for intimacy, basically. You lacked intimacy from your caregiver, your parents. When I say intimacy, I mean hugs, I mean kisses, I mean like affection that's not sexual. And then when we become adults, it becomes a sexual thing because we think that that's the only way that we're going to be able to get intimacy. Like intimacy is mainly for kids. So once we get past that childhood phase of, being able to get hugs and kisses from our parents, we think that we won't be able to get that from our spouse. So it kind of transitions into a sexual thing. Or maybe men are taught, subconsciously, obviously, they don't realize that, that's really what they're missing, the intimacy part of it. But then when they become adults, like, a part of that need is kind of being fulfilled with the sex. And they don't realize that they're using the sex or a high sex drive to mask what it really is. They're wanting closeness. They're wanting to feel like they're wanted because somebody at some point in their childhood made them feel like they weren't. So, and that's kind of amplified. I don't know if you guys watched the episode, but it's kind of a spoiler alert. That's kind of amplified in the second episode when Zach and Fatima are in the car and he starts crying because of the situation that happened with his mom. When we don't heal those things, and we've talked about this in other videos, it manifests in a bunch of different ways. And I remember having this conversation so many different times, and what he said to her on the couch about her changing because she got the ring now, she doesn't want to have sex anymore. It's she's kind of, and I guess I can see where he would get that idea from, but in her mind it's not that she just did that to get the ring. She just did that, like she said, to see how far it would go. Some women just do it thinking eventually he'll get tired of me, or we'll fall into a rhythm and he'll not want it anymore. Eventually he'll that craving will go away. But a lot of times it doesn't, because we're not addressing where it really comes from. It's not, men are just being men and they just have a high sex. No, there's an emotional need that's not being filled. And I honestly think that's why people cheat. It's an emotional thing. And that's why they can say that they love you and still go cheat, because it's not really about loyalty and all that other kind of stuff. It's an emotional need is not being filled. And love is not the only emotion. You can love somebody and not be intimate with them. Again, intimacy meaning hugs and kisses and cuddling without the sex and watching TV together and sharing hobbies that both of you guys enjoy. We've really blurred the lines between what intimacy and sexual activity really is. They're not the same thing. They're very different. And a lot of times relationships are lacking intimacy. And so that's what these men are looking for. But there are women who have high sex drives as well. And that's where it comes from. So I'm excited to see where this season of Zatima will go, because I hope it gets to the point where Zach goes to therapy and we get to see that. That's going to be really awesome. So stay tuned if you guys are watching, and we'll, maybe I'll make another video. We'll see what happens.